Hey guys, Omar here, and today we're going to take a closer look at the 16mm 1.4 from Fujifilm and the 16mm 1.4 from Sigma. All right, let's start physically off here. The Sigma version is just a little bit larger than the Fujifilm version. It just sticks out a little bit more, and it's dominated by this awesome manual focus wheel, and that is probably one of the best features of this lens. Is the manual focus ring is really nice and smooth. You get some feedback from it. The Fujifilm has a clutch manual focus, which means that the manual focus is not engaged unless you pull back this little clutch, but then the wheel is kind of very loose. So there isn't that sort of nice little give to a manual focus experience, which the Sigma gives you. The Fujifilm, of course, has the aperture wheel, and there's something satisfying about hearing this. With the Sigma, you have to control your aperture with the camera. You have to program one of the dials. If you're super superficial, the black finish on the Sigma I like it. It's a little bit more matte black and nice. And the Fujifilm lenses are traditionally just a little shinier, glossier, black piano kind of thing. Now, as far as weather sealing goes, the Sigma has a nice little flexible rubber thingamabobby there, so you can actually feel it give. And the Fujifilm also has a little bit of weather sealing, the 16, but it's a bit firmer rubber. Almost like if it's just a little bit firmer and not as tall. There, you can see the Sigma, the rubber on the edge there. And the Fujifilm is just not as tall, the little rubber on the side. Now, I don't know how that translates into how wet your sensor will get if you're out in the rain, but it's just something that I thought I'd mention. Now, before we look at some photos, what about video? Okay, why don't we start with a little video. This is the Fujifilm 16mm 1.4 with the Turner Film Simulation 265 long up at 1.4 with a 5000 white balance. I got that all out. Okay, we're not really going to test autofocus because the Sigma has pre-production firmware, but this is what the Fujifilm one looks like. Let's see if the Sigma looks exactly the same. Okay, it should look totally the same. The test I ran between the Sigma lens and the Fujifilm lens, their colors were just about identical. Now, I do want to say one thing. Some people were so Fujifilm snobby in the comments when we talked about these Sigma lenses that, they need an aperture ring and they'll only buy Fujifilm. You know what? Some people are on a budget. Some people are looking for other options. Some people don't care that the lens doesn't say Fujifilm on it. They just want to take good pictures. All right, so this is the Sigma. Right now it is recording my ass. That's right, my ass. We have ass detection on, and yeah, let's see if ass detection works. Yeah, it's working. Again, this is pre-production firmware, but we're just kind of trying to take a look at both lenses. Let's switch to the Fujifilm. Okay, same exact settings. I got ass detection on, so it's detecting my ass. How do we look? I mean, with a 1.4 lens, the thing you love most is the out of focus bokehness. Out of focus bokehness. I just made up a word. All right, let's talk photography. The first concern I had was if Sigma could reproduce the Fujifilm colors, and I just decided to do an auto white balance shot, one with the Fujifilm, one with the Sigma, just to see what would happen. And really, if you want to control color, you should not shoot auto white balance, but this was just to see what would happen. And to me, the reds look slightly, just a little punchier in this one photograph than the Fujifilm straight out of camera. But all the other colors look pretty much the same to me. Everything looks the same. Just the reds look just a little reddier. Now, just a little proof that you should shoot JPEG and RAW. These are two RAW files that we're taking with two different white balances. You can see they look all different. So when you compare colors between cameras and lenses, white balance is everything, because you could be like, oh, these blues are different, and they are. And it's because one was on auto white balance and one was on 5000K. So we're just gonna use a little eyedropper tool here. This is the Sigma. I'm just gonna grab right on this white card, and it got all nice and warm. And I'll do the same thing to the Fujifilm one. I'll use the white card, and there you go. And if you look at them now, the colors are very similar. Sigma on the left, Fujifilm on the right, and yeah, pretty much the same. I'm seeing them as the same, but again, color is completely weird. We did a whole video on color. I'll link it up below. Okay, nothing could be more exciting than taking pictures of a brick wall for you, but I did it. Here we go. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with all these brick pictures, but here's what I found. I found that the Sigma was overall more sharp than the Fujifilm. Here's the corner sharpness of the 16. Here's the corner sharpness of the, they're both 16. The Fujifilm's on the right, Sigma's on the left. And I found that the Sigma was sharper at the lower apertures. And so the center sharpness at 1.4 was a little sharper on the Sigma. Now vignetting was also a little bit more controlled on the Sigma. Here's the Sigma here, here's the Fujifilm. The Fujifilm has just a little bit more of a vignetting, and I actually like lenses that have a little bit of vignetting. At 1.8, I also found the Sigma to be sharper than the Fujifilm 16mm, and in the corners, the Sigma as well. Stopping down to 2.8, they're both closer. With again the Sigma being just slightly sharper, and this kind of was the story all through the range. 2.8, f4 here, f4 in the corners. The Sigma is just slightly sharper. Now my 5.6 photo, the Fujifilm looks to me just to be a little sharper, and even in the corners, which is weird. So in the corners, this one, the 16mm, kicks butt at 5.6. So I felt as you stop down the lenses more, the Fujifilm started to take over. And at f8, kind of the same thing. They're both very sharp, but the the Fujifilm seems to be sharper at f8. And in the corners, definitely the Fujifilm is a lot nicer. So if you like to shoot landscapes at 5.6, f8, the Fujifilm is, in my opinion, according to this brick wall, sharper than the Sigma. Now for close-up shooting, the Fujifilm is a little bit better than the Sigma, can actually get a little bit closer, which is a fun way to shoot this lens. Bokeh and background separation, no one's gonna notice that, and so I felt kind of dumb taking pictures of a pole and zooming in. I just stopped because this takes all the fun out of doing photography. You're gonna get great pictures or horrible pictures from either of these lenses. Again, look to composition and light and all that, but two great options for you to choose from. All right, hope that was helpful to some of you, and I'll see you guys next time.